Well, all right. Welcome back to a brand new episode. How'd we get here? This is another spooky episode. We're kind of having a ball doing these, man. They're kind of nice, quick, easy ones. And yeah, like what are we doing tonight, Joe? We talk about some more Hellboy, right?
Yeah, we got a comic double feature tonight. We got the Midnight Circus, where follows the story of a young Hellboy. It's probably one of the first young Hellboy stories, right? If I'm not mistaken, one of the earlier ones.
I think so. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, like he kind of had like little shorts here and there in the regular book, but this is like his first kind of
Before they
like
started the actual young Hellboy series, because they started that just before the pandemic or right in the middle of the pandemic, somewhere around there. They came out with a Hellboy actual series. So, and then the second book that we're paired that with is Eduardo Risso's Tales of Terror from Dynamite.
yeah, this is actually originally released in Europe. Like this was when him and Trio were coming up, and like they were still doing magazines in Italy. So but like this got brought over by Dynamite, and yeah, it's a fun little tome. I'm really happy that we're covering it because yeah, it's 12 like nice little stories, and they're all really fun and funny, kind of mean spirited, but I enjoy them.
Yeah, this is some monster goodness.
That's right, Chase. Pancakes.
Yeah, Chase, what's up? Randy's in the house as usual.
Yeah, man.
There we go. We'll have to get Chase back on, man.
Yeah, even if it's just to do like one of these really easy Halloween episodes, man. Like,
yeah, we'll have to get him back on. We have to get him back on to do some. Like he missed out on the Hellboy.
Yeah.
I know he liked the Crooked Man stuff. So,
man, if you like comic books, man, and you like cool old style horror, I think that most people are going to end up liking Crooked Man if they actually give it a chance. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gotten nothing. Mostly good reviews from positive, at least. Hey, Cookie, how's it going?
Oh, snap.
What?
Hope you didn't hit yourself too bad.
He fell through the floor of his through the ceiling, through the floor of his attic, through the ceiling. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I believe you, Chase, man. That's movie stuff. What's this?
Yeah, Chase Griswold over here being played by being played by Chevy Chase in this new movie.
Yeah.
So you got to check in, Joe, since we talked last Sunday.
Yeah. I started reading a new book. Well, for me, I have a convoluted relationship with this book. I'll reveal what it is right now. What's this? Humanoids Publishing has some great horror titles: Pandemonium Shadows and Salamanca Whispers in the Walls and Thousand Faces.
I have a couple of those books. I have Whispers in the Walls, which is magnificent, and Pandemonium, which is really, really disconcerting, man. Like anything that has to do with the Scarlet Fever really freaks me out.
Is that Tim Silly? Is he the writer of that? No, okay.
No. Christopher Beck, I think, did Pandemonium, okay. And then the guy that wrote Salamani, like dude just said here, he co-wrote Devil's Backbone with Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, okay.
And like and then this is like his graphic novel, and it's messed up. You know what I mean? If you like Devil's Backbone, it's more that. Yeah, exactly. Christopher Beck, B-E-C.
Christopher Beck. Awesome. All right, so my check-in is a book that I have a convoluted. I have a convoluted history with this book. So, what's the furthest place from here? I finally read the first volume. I actually put this on my poll, but because listen, the idea was great, putting out a vinyl version where the comic comes with a vinyl because it has ties to the book, the story, and everything. Fantastic idea. Extremely poorly executed, all right? Like, this was about at a time when I was trying to cut down on my pull and cut back on books. So I was trying not to double dip. So all I did is I ordered the vinyl series. I didn't order the regular one. And come to find out, it wasn't really well described that it was a very limited run. So if you put this on your pull, you weren't guaranteed to get it, but that was not clearly written. So I still put it on my pull without. And so I didn't get issue 1. I got issue 2, which is fucking dumb and so I said, then I think Goose got issue 1, but he didn't get issue 2. His issue 2 got canceled or whatever. So I was going to burn it and do a video of me burning the vinyl and the comic, but instead I sent it to Goose because I figured, hey,
yeah, burning comics is dumb anyways, man.
It wasn't about burning comics. It was just, it'd be therapeutic for me. Get the demons out.
Yeah, we did I think our first Halloween episode we actually talked about Severed, which is probably still Snyder's best book, his best writing.
Fantastic. Great book. Yeah, I love it. The art was great in it, everything. So The Furthest Place from Here, great. I loved it. Volume 1, fantastic. It was fun.
It's actually a pretty good Halloween read too, because there's a lot of masks, there's a lot of like skullduggery going on. I mean,
the apocalypse, the circus, or the carnival, I should say. The carnival is kind of weird, and so it has that kind of freak show element at the carnival, with all the carnies, the haunted house part. The strangers are kind of a weird, ominous entity presence. The weirdo, what are they called? Not the old folks, the bold folks.
Yeah, the bold folks home.
Bold folks. Yeah, the bold folks home. Like, they're a weird group of people. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna find all kinds of different families, and you're gonna get kind of a cool look at all of them. One thing I really like is all the different covers with the houses, man, and you get to see what's inside the houses. I think that was a neat idea. And yeah, I think that I think this book's kind of slightly underrated in my opinion. With a lot of the stuff that Image has, it's like getting really highly praised. I don't hear this one get mentioned as much as it probably should, in my opinion. And I guess it's probably because it's kind of more old style Image than kind of like their new Toy Factory shit that they're going with nowadays. So,
but it was a fun read. Definitely enjoyed it, and I'll read volume 2 probably in the coming weeks. So, yeah. 40 years of Scream Rebellion published in hardcover omnibus. First printing sold out. No, I did not. No.
Sounds pretty badass, though. I like most stuff that Rebellion puts out. Like, it's probably I'm assuming it's stuff from England. It's probably 2000 AD or adjacent.
Rebellion bought or merged. They bought 2000 AD and it merged in with Rebellion. So.
But yeah, man, like, do you have a favorite character yet, or?
I'd have to say, is it Elliot? Is that his name? The transfer? The ginger kid that was part of the what are they called? The Wall Street guys, the bankers,
the pig masks, yeah,
the pig mask crew, yeah. He's my favorite character, man. I like him. Yeah. Well, who's your favorite character?
I like Oberon and Mallory. I think that they're both badass.
Mallory's not the leader; it's the other girl, right?
The one with the bob, the one that's.
Well, her and Oberon, they're like a team. Those two, they're always fighting together, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Are they brother and sister, or?
No, because nobody's actually related. They're just kids that get left.
Okay, because they have a very brother-sister type of relationship, like how close they are without being romantically involved with each other.
Well, that's the thing, as you learn, like, they have no concept of sexuality, really. It's not taught to them at all, and unless they as you further read, they don't really get that until they kind of run into other houses and stuff like that, and kind of learn about sensuality from others. You know what I mean? It's kind of an interesting point of the book. So, like, they haven't really addressed that yet, but you'll learn that's why.
How far have you read into it?
I'm pretty current. I think that I'm a couple issues behind. I think that he just started a new arc, and I think I haven't gotten the But last I saw, like they kind of explain the others a little bit. You get to see. I think what's the city? They go some places, man. It takes a little while. The second and third arc kind of slow down, and it kind of gets more into exposition and kind of showing you, like I said, more of the world, which is kind of cool. But like it did get a little annoying. But like in the third arc, it really kind of starts explaining stuff really well. And I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that he's going to be wrapping it up soon too. Like
Cool.
I kind of got that kind of feeling from it that it's not going to be going for too much longer.
Yeah. Just going back to the comment, yeah, Magnetic Press does put out beautiful books. The quality of their stuff is second to none. Their hardcovers, just all their books, print quality, colors, the quality of how the book's made. I have quite a few Magnetic Press books, and from turning the pages, none of them crack and start falling apart or anything. Like you're getting a good quality book when you get something from Magnetic Press that I can vouch on that.
And they got a pretty good curator. You know what I mean? They do bring over some really interesting stuff, in my opinion, from Europe. So
yeah, we're supposed to do a Magnetic Press publisher spotlight. I put all my Magnetic Press books on the side. They're still sitting on the floor waiting for us to get to that. That's on a long list of supposed to do episodes. Our backlog of episodes we're supposed to do is similar to that of to read pile, right?
Yeah, need to read pile. Yeah,
need to read pile. That our episodes we've got to do is getting out of hand, kind of like the need to read pile. Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah. All right. So, do you have a check-in, Johnny?
No, not really.
Not really.
No, I just been kind of doing stuff for the show. So,
yeah. All right, cool. So, we can jump right into it. What am I going to do? The Hellboy, and you're going to do the Tales of Terror.
Yeah, or we could kind of chime in on both. But yeah, I figured since you had the Hellboy loaded up, we'll do that first.
So we'll do Hellboy first. All right. Yeah. Let's get Hellboy. Midnight Circus. We'll do the titles. Let's just here. I'll go full screen so I can read this. All righty. So you have Duncan Fegredo, who's the artist. Colors by Dave Stewart. Lettered by Clem Robbins, who I think he does most of the.
I think he's lettered every Hellboy.
Yeah. So you got Duncan on this one, who I think did about half the art for half the series, the back end.
He did a decent chunk. He at least did a third, like if not.
Yeah, he did a good chunk of Hellboy.
And then he also did a lot of stuff for BPRD too. So
okay, so he's well entrenched. He's a vet of the Hellboy universe.
I think him and Mike are buddies. You know what I mean? Because he's done a lot of art for him.
Here's the cover for Hellboy: The Midnight Circus. You get a shot of the young Hellboy there with the circus in the background. So the story starts at the BPRD headquarters. You have a young Hellboy, just a little tyke here, sneaking through the quiet hallways of the facility at night, stalking around, sneaking around. Here's Professor Blum, his adoptive father, speaking with a colleague about how Hellboy is dangerous because he can't escape his fate, and Professor Blum doesn't believe so. And so they have a little discussion. Hellboy kind of overhears it, which already leads to a lot of his insecurities of him not being a person, a human, and him trying to adapt into the human world. So he sneaks out of the facility, sneaks under the fence, pulls his famous, Hellboy's famous for smoking. So here's how he got started, man. They explain it right here. So he has a little flashback of how he got the cigarettes. So he was in the cafeteria with some other colleagues from the BPRD, some agents, and talking about how he hooked up with another agent, and then telling Hellboy, "You're too young to listen to this, kid." So but he left his cigarettes on the table. So Hellboy sneaks a little cigarette out of the guy's pack as he's trying to flaunt his manly machismo moves to all his colleagues. So Hellboy snatches the cigarette. So right as he goes to light it, he hears a drum beat. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. He sees a clown and a dog running. So he gets his curiosity. He starts following them. then he sees a poster that the clown nailed to a tree. So you have a circus that's in town, and it's not your regular circus, right? Is it written right on it? The fearful crack of dawn, right? So the circus shows up at dawn. So he keeps walking, following the clown, and boom, he sees the high top.
The big top, and the book just changes art styles, man.
Yeah, right here you see the change in art styles. You see Hellboy still in the alternate world that we live in, the reality of what most people live in, and then you have the other parallel world where the circus is. And I love this art style, man. The switch, yeah, just some great stuff. Hellboy walking through the circus in awe and wonder, goes into the big top. He sees the clown in the center of the ring with a dog, summoning the rest. So they start appearing from the ground, out of the ground, running around the circle as the young Hellboy looks in awe and wonder. Then he sees this giant coming around, being mean and cracking his whip. Then like an elephant appears with a lovely lady on it. And oh, that Hellboy gets his interest. Oh, Hellboy's turning from a young boy into a man. This is how you become a man. So he gets a little interest in this girl riding the elephant there. He's gets his blood flowing. So he leaves the big top, and someone calls him over. So he starts leading over, and he's like, "Oh, I can't go in there. It's for gentlemen only." And then I don't know what you would call him, the headmaster of the circus, or what?
Ringleader.
Ringleader. So the ringleader stops him from going in, and the girl's like kind of annoyed that he stopped her. So then he's walking around talking to him, talking about his father, his family, and then he sees a poster of Pinocchio. So they start discussing Pinocchio, how Pinocchio just wanted to be a real boy, kind of parallels with Hellboy and how he feels and how he wants to just be a person and not like an entity from another world, right? So it echoes Hellboy's feelings and sentiment. So you go into a bit of a flashback where Hellboy was introduced to Pinocchio. You have his caretaker here, Margaret, who is sick of Hellboy getting all worked up reading these Lobster Johnson comic books, because that's Hellboy's favorite comic. So she's like, let's get you a little culture. So she lets him, brings him to the library and gives him Pinocchio, and that's how he was introduced to Pinocchio. He had to put his Lobster Johnson comics to the side for a second and get a little variety in his reading. So then it goes back to the ringleader and kind of showing Hellboy, and they're talking about the Pinocchio story and how it relates to him and his life and his father, or his adoptive father, Professor Bloom. Then it goes back to the BPRD, and Professor Bloom goes into Hellboy's room and realizes the little stinker snuck out, and he put pillows under his blanket. The oldest trick in the book, Professor, and you fell for it. So they put together a committee to go, a search committee to go find Hellboy, because, the little red kid running around with a big stone hand would probably draw a lot of attention if he got spotted. So back to the circus. So here Hellboy's living out the Pinocchio story. He's got thrown into the water. He's kind of drowning. And when he comes back to, he sees his adoptive father, Professor Bloom, his dad, in distress. So he wants to help him. He's cold and dying. And the ringleader tries to trick Hellboy or manipulate him into using his hand, the key, to save him. He's like, you can warm him up. You don't need a match to warm up to start a fire. You can just use your hand. And you get a little flash of what happens if Hellboy uses his hand to unlock the apocalypse of the world. So Hellboy, even at that young age, is smart enough and very reluctant to use his hand because of his teachings from Professor Bloom. And he's like, no, I won't do it. Then he, like a kid, runs away. And as he's running away in the House of Mirrors, he sees a reflection of himself. Or is that supposed to be his father?
No, that's him. That's him.
That's
full on Anungan Rama style, man.
Yeah, that's what he'll become if he uses his hand and unreleases the apocalypse, the leader of of the underworld. So as he's leaving, a bunch of animals escape from the cages, trying to stop him from escaping the circus. So he has to fight a few little monkeys. You get a lion that shows up to try to take on Hellboy, but the ringleader steps in and says, I told everyone that he was to be unharmed.
Well, also the stripper chick, she's trying to kill Hellboy because like if he's not going to work for them, then he's too dangerous. So like there's kind of a clashing going on between the bad guys here. Plus, look at the little demon guys from House of the Living Dead.
Yeah, they're always around causing mischief, eh?
Yeah.
They're like little mischievous demons. Kind of like Loki, right? So then Hellboy comes upon these two hobos, or whatever you want to call them.
Bums.
Yeah, hobos. What do you call them? The guys who ride the train carts around.
Yeah, you said it, like hobos, spangers, but like these guys were like child killers, man. Like this book gets a little dark here, man.
So it shows when they were alive what they were, and they got caught riding the railways and were killing children in different towns as they were riding the railways up and down the coast. Yeah. So then they catch Hellboy and they want to hang him, and then the ringleader shows up, saves Hellboy from the two child killers, spirits or creatures or whatever you want to call them that are in this other world. And the ringleader warns Gamora. Is that her name? Or Gamori?
Gamora,
he's the uncle, she's the niece, and you'll see them later in Hellboy Goes to Hell. These two characters reappear. So this is a nice little touch. They make another appearance in the Hellboy Goes to Hell. So elaborate on that story and that conflict. But in all this, the people are in the same area where the train used to be, and they kind of hear a noise. So the search party finds Hellboy. He's choking from his encounter with the two hobo hangmen. And the final page, you have Professor Blum holding Hellboy, saying, "There's son, you're safe now." And the ringleader kind of looking over him as well, but menacingly looking over him and protecting Hellboy from Gamori. And that's how the Midnight Circus ends. Man, look at that page. Isn't that beautiful? And there you go. You get the contrast of the two styles too. Yeah. With
the ringleader was also in House of the Living Dead as well. I didn't remember that, but at the end when he's telling Hellboy that like he'll never be in a grave like a man, he'll go to hell when he dies.
Yeah, he'll never die. He'll end up in hell.
Yeah. So I didn't know that like these two tied together, because I remember when they came out at the same time, and I thought it was such a great format. I don't know why they didn't put out more of these like little hardcover novellas for Hellboy, because I love the format, but as far as I know, they only did the two of them. And I kind of never saw like how much they did tie together. I mean, even though it is tangentially, like it's kind of cool that and yeah.
It was a fun story with young Hellboy. The art is fantastic. You get to see a different art style there. Do you think that was Fegredo who did all of it, or do you think Dave Stewart colored the circus part?
It says Dave Stewart did the colors, man. So I think he colored both. I think it was just really fun for them to kind of work together to plan out how to do it. Because I've seen Duncan Fegredo do hand painted, so I know he is an all around artist and he can do his colors if he needs to. But like he's not credited at doing them on this book, so I don't think. I mean, you showed the credits and like it said Dave Stewart colors, so
yeah.
But I mean, like I've seen other artists like that step up and be able to do that. Like remember when we did Daredevil Parts of a Whole, where you saw Joe Quesada completely do David Mack's art style.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he could have pulled that off, but like he did it so good. Yeah, the Lobster Johnston comics were like a lot of fun, but like they kind of got like were one of the sadder series of the Hellboy tie-ins, in my opinion, man. Like how cursed poor Lobster was, man.
How did you like his casting in the Hellboy movie, the third one?
Thomas Hayden Church as him. He was fun. I mean, I like him. He's a good over the top actor, but like I don't know. Everybody was always saying that Bruce Campbell was supposed to play him, so I was a little disappointed, but whatever. Like Thomas Hayden Church was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought he was good too for the little bit of the role he had to do in that movie. I thought he was maybe one of the highlights of that movie. Yeah. Like Johnny said, you definitely see the connection between the stories. But I think, did this story come like later on in the Hellboy series, like when he was ready to go to hell? And like I think maybe the stories were ramping up where.
Yeah, I think that these came out around the same time. Like the Wild Hunt came out. That's around the time where like they started getting close to having him go to hell.
Yeah, like all the factions are ramping up to try to get him to take on or embrace his mantle of.
If I remember correctly, it was around that time. Like,
yeah. Yep. So that was Hellboy, the Midnight Circus. That's another like 50, 60 page novella. So it's definitely definitely a fun read.
If you can find it in the nice hardcover novella style, man, it's a beautiful addition to like your Dark Horse collection, in my opinion. Like it's only $15 too if you find it, so that's not bad for a hardcover. Yeah, early 2010s. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's around the same time BPRD started doing the Hell on Earth arc. That's when like that reached its halfway point, and yeah, Hellboy was pretty much almost over when these came out.
Cool.
Or as over as he got, you know what I mean? They ended like the storyline where they're still doing comics with
the main like Mignola's main storyline that he was doing.
Yeah. So yeah, next up we have, of course, like we said, Eduardo Risso's Tales of Terror, and I'm not sure like what magazine this ran in Europe, but like this is just kind of a really fun collection of short horror stories, very much in the style of like EC Comics that Carlos Trillo and Eduardo Risso did back in the day, and they're both very popular, famous European writer artists. Carlos Trujillo didn't really come over here when Eduardo Risso did, but he's still pretty famous. If you know like Betty of the Night and some of his stuff, he's a very renowned creator from over there. And then Eduardo Risso is unanimous with just one of the greatest artists working in comics right now. So, but yeah, this is them back when they were kids and just having fun. I mean, like these are I didn't know what I was getting into when I got this because at the time when this trade came out, I was like really deep into Borderline, which they also did, that was put out by Dynamite. And like I think this came out in between I don't know, the first and the second, or the second and third trade paperbacks for that. So I kind of thought that this was going to be like straight up like gory scary because like how serious and how Borderline is. But like these tales are actually really funny. Like they're pretty mean spirited, but there's 12 of them in total. It's 160 pages, so I guess they're about half a comic each. So
about that. 10. I'd say they're on average 10 pages each.
And some of them get really good. Like some of them are like they start off kind of just like super silly because the first one, it's about this guy who his mom kind of reared him so he could be like a mob enforcer, but like he never really got the smarts for it and always kind of messed up the torture and stuff. So like him and his mom kind of both became part of this mob, and it doesn't end too well for them, but like it was silly. And then the second one,
I love the way they draw him, like the dim-wittedness of him with his tongue sticking out with the drool and stuff. It was a nice little touch.
Yeah. And then the second one, like this is when I kind of realized what I was in for with this one. This one is pretty silly. This one's about just like this cold-hearted psycho. Ever since he was a kid, like he got picked up by this mobster, and he just kind of did dirt. You know what I mean? And he was the worst.
He did the dirty jobs for the mob,
and he enjoyed it, man, a lot. Yeah. But then like later on he just kind of starts slipping, and he's kind of just starts killing people willy-nilly, and they don't know why until like they finally stake him down after he kills his boss and stuff, and they find out that like he never got potty trained, and like people started seeing him in his diaper as he got older, and like that's why he was killing people. I mean, I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, it's pretty silly, but yeah, it's good. It's fun. And the Risso, like, look at that. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
the Risso art, man. Oof.
This story really cracks me up. This one's about this guy who could never like decide on anything. So like his whole life, he's just like, whenever anybody asks him anything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like about how he just becomes a ghost. It's
his indifference to everything.
Yeah, it's just a really good, funny, silly one. But this is where it like really starts getting good. This is when they start dipping into the Universal monsters. This is the creature from the Black Lagoon one, and they kind of mix the Creech with Swamp Thing a little bit. And this one, he's a scientist that like tested on himself, and then he kind of just becomes like the guardian of the swamp,
the lizard creature, in the swamp,
And he's just like he's killing hunters and stuff until one day.
Look at that! Go back one.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Beautiful. Love it. And I love the way the positive and negative, like,
he's a master at that. Yeah, dude.
So fucking good. So fucking good. With you can communicate so much with zero detail, right? It's fantastic. I love it.
But then comes a beautiful research scientist, and like he's not going to kill her because like she makes him feel the way he hasn't felt in a long time. So he goes and tries to talk to her and realizes that like he can't talk anymore. So she tranks his ass, and he ends up the rest of his life in a circus or in a.
Well, because he thinks she's a scientist, she's a woman of science, right? So she's going to help him. But no, she tranks him, and he ends up in a zoo.
And this one kind of reminds me of something out of Cat's Eye. This one's about like this rich guy who like loses his business to this guy who like originally owned the land, and like he makes
on a bet, right? On a wager that he lost. Yeah.
And they just keep wagering until like he loses everything and ends up just alone in the desert. And he's just like, well, at least I'm going to lose some weight. So like, even though he's screwed, at least the evil gangster industrialist has a sense of humor about it. And then this one here, this is my favorite one, the costume party one. This is one of my favorites. We see this character walking down the street. He scares the kids, and then you see he's got this really sweet mummy costume, and he goes to this party, and he's just like chilling.
You got Homer, you got the Joker. What else? Who else do you have in there? Is that Pocahontas maybe in the back?
Oh yeah, you got a couple Disney princesses that pop up.
The Statue of Liberty. I already said Homer Simpson. I don't know who's the cowboy. Who's that cowboy guy there?
I think it's supposed to be General Custer. It kind of looks like
Custer. Okay, yeah.
And like, so he finds the shorty dressed up like Snow White, and they break it down. He tells her how hot she is, and she's like, "Well, I hope you don't disappoint me." So like, he shows her his face, and like, yeah, he's pretty good looking, and then like he busts out what he really is, and like so he drinks from her. He doesn't intend to kill her, but like he accidentally does, and he kind of leaves her out there in the backyard, and like just kind of dips. Whereas like and the rest of the crowd kind of goes out and finds her, and so they
start pointing fingers at the guy dressed as Dracula.
And yeah, the vampire just dips, man, and leaves him to his fate.
Yeah, with a smirk, kind of like idiots. Humans will be humans, right?
And then next up, we got the Invisible Woman one. This one's really cool. It's kind of a straight up noir tale. Detective hired to find this dame, and like he's basically supposed to be finds her. He's not supposed to really talk to her because, or at least not watch her strip. So you kind of watch him kind of break it down. And at first, the way that the guy that gives him the job describes her, you kind of think she might be like a cat person or something. But like the way like he kind of cracks the case and stuff and ends up finding her, and then dumbass lets her strip for him, and like she turns invisible and kills his ass and skips town with his clothes pretty much. This is kind of the only story I didn't like, the one about the vain guy that marries the rich fat girl.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean,
but after that we get a like a legit mummy comic where the
Yeah,
mummy.
the mummy story. Yeah, where
Yeah,
actually the Invisible Woman makes
yeah,
an
she shows
appearance in
back
this.
up.
Yeah, she shows back up. There aren't too many reoccurring characters, but this one actually has a reoccurring character, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and she kind of tricks him into jumping into the river. It's pretty funny.
Do you have that shot of him when he yells?
I do.
Yo, yeah, that's so nice. That page, beautiful page, man. Love it.
And
I
then
mean,
yeah,
there's some fantastic
the
splash
reflection
pages.
page too.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, Rizzo's art's just gorgeous, anyways, man. Even when like you look at his stuff that looks like I don't want to say simple, but like compared to like his like highly detailed panels, like it all just still shines, man. Like he is a true master, in my
Yeah, he's
opinion.
awesome. He's good. After that, we have what?
Well, probably my second favorite one, the Frankenstein's monster
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
And this one's kind of different because like in this, Frankenstein exists in the world where like the movie Frankenstein exists too. So like he's a fictional character and he's really here, but like basically like he hits the city, you know what I mean? And he finds out like if he uses money, he can find the love of a woman and he can
Yeah.
have friends and stuff like that.
Friends. Yeah.
So like
Mm.
basically getting money just is his life now, and like you find out that he instead of just being like a wandering monster, he's an axe murderer now, and like he just kind of like
Mhm.
kills people and robs them, which I don't know, it's kind of silly, but like I really liked it. Plus, like some of my favorite panels from this book are
Yeah, the street punks and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And then the last one, it's kind of another just straight up Tales from the Crypt kind of one about like this mobster guy and his vain wife and their kind of animosity towards each other, and it it, it it was one of the not so great ones. Like you said, the
But the
best
twist
one.
was all right. You think it's
Yeah.
one thing, and then the twist ends up.
Well, that's kind of the cool thing about these ones is at least like they do the weird thing with the diaper. Like all the twists are actually kind of original, even though like they kind of did generic type stories. Like they did do their own twist to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
the best ones, in my opinion, are the ones that like kind of played with the universal monsters or like the traditional monsters. I thought that those were like really fun.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So those were our two books for spooky season for this episode. What did we do so far? We've done previously we did Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Oh no, that wasn't. It was the Mexico one we did, right?
Yeah, we did Hellboy in
Hellboy in
Mexico.
Mexico, and then we did this one. We're gonna do Tuesday. We're supposed to be doing Immortal Hulk, so we should be doing that on Tuesday. We're gonna be doing our Immortal Hulk's Big Spooky Tuesday episode. So we're gonna be covering the first 10 issues of Immortal Hulk. And we're supposed to be doing the trade. We'll be discussing the trade of Beneath the Trees Where No One Sees will be our other comic we're going to be talking about on Spooky Season. We'll probably be doing that one maybe on the 31st, right on Halloween night. Close out Spooky Season with Beneath the Trees.
But before any of that, man, tomorrow night we're going to be back with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about two more movies. We're going to be doing another movie episode. We're going to be talking about The Critters and Ghoulies.
Yeah.
We're going to have a special guest with us, too. Rizzo is, man. He is the king.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're going to be doing some 80s monster fun again. And hope you guys join us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought I had the banner for that. I guess not.
Okay.
Wait,
yeah,
I have it somewhere. Man, hold on. I'll find it real quick. Is this it? This is it right here. Okay, I found it. Here, we're gonna be doing tomorrow night. We're gonna be doing Critters and Ghoulies, a double feature, a creature double feature. So we'll be doing that tomorrow night. Ghoulies, the first Critters and the first Ghoulies. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. Yeah. And then we're also going to be doing a Caged Love Halloween edition, where we'll be talking about Longlegs and Arcadia.
Yeah,
we'll be doing
Arcadian.
Arcadian? Okay, Arcadian. We'll be doing that one with Cookie.
Yeah, man, and especially with some good 80s creature double feature, man. Like,
yeah.
Dude, like I'm gonna watch Ghoulies for like the first time in like 2 decades tonight, so I'm pretty
actually,
about that.
Ghoulies was a movie I was always aware of as a kid, and only ever caught bits and parts of it here and there. I never actually sat down and watched the whole movie, and this is the first time I actually watched the whole movie from start to finish. And it's not at all the movie I thought it was as a kid.
That's the fun thing about when you were a kid looking at the horror movie wall, man. Like, you look at those covers and you just think of like, ooh, what that one about? You know what I mean? And you kind of come up with your own thing. And then when you look at the damn thing years later, you're just kind of like, well, that's not what it was about. What the
fuck? I mean, you got this creature coming out of a toilet bowl, right? I mean, your imagination runs wild, right? Like we're there. You got that little green guy with red suspenders and a white t-shirt coming out of a toilet. I mean, as a kid, you're like, what the fuck is this? You know? So, yeah. And Critters was just constantly, I had Critters 1 and 2, or the second one. Maybe I had the second one on VHS, and that was constantly playing in the VHS and on rewind it as fast as I could and rewatch it. Like I think Critters 2 I must have watched.
There was a toilet scene in the Critters Cookie, that's probably why you're thinking that. Like in the first one we'll cover it, but like there is one where like it pops out of the toilet bowl and they shoot it.
But we'll be talking about the first Critters, but the second one, as far as I'm concerned, is my favorite. So
I like pretty much all of them except for the last one, man. I don't like part 4, the one where they're actually in space.
Okay. Yeah, they're pretty solid. The first 3 are really good. Good campy 80s little ghoulish monster movies.
Yeah. Part 2 is the one with the big ball of them.
And the ball. That's great. Yeah,
the Easter one. Yeah.
The Easter, where they get the eggs. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, the first one was pretty successful, so I think they had quite a bit more budget for the second one as opposed to the first one, because the first one was really successful, and you can see the production is a little bit better in the second one. They have a larger cast of actors too, because the other one just mainly takes place at the farm, right?
Yeah,
the first one. So
well, they go to the bowling alley. Like they drive around a little bit, but like a majority of it is
at the farm. Yeah, but Critters 2, man, they just took what was great about the first one and just rolled with it, and it's
and if anybody wants to watch it along with us, man, it's for free. Critters is for free on Tubi. So if you want to watch that and hop on and talk about it with us, that.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern. Jonathan Chance will be with us.
Yeah, which is going to be crazy. We're going to have a creator on for the first time, but it's not really going to be an interview. We will talk to him about his newest book, but like we're just going to talk films with him, so that should be pretty fun. Oh, so all right, man. So we'll see you guys tomorrow evening, same time. You know what I mean? Just.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have an outro.